Hi, everyone. This is Amy from Teach. I just wanted to quickly go over our monthly student attendance report and the tutor lesson log. So to find this, if you are at the teachempowers.org website, which is our website, you would go on to tutor resources and then scroll down to tutor resources again. And then we have tutor forms and reports. So here's the link to the monthly student attendance report, and then also links to the document for the tutor lesson log. And so both of these documents are important for our record keeping and grants. And they do have different purposes. So briefly, the monthly student attendance report is the total number of hours that you met with your student each month. And so this report, we are asking from you every single month to submit at the very end of the month or the very beginning of a new month. And we will send you a reminder and a link to this each month. And the tutor lesson log, this is a more detailed document that goes over very briefly what you did during each tutoring session with your student. So we'll open them up and show you what they look like. So if you click here, this form will appear. It's a Google form. And so when you're filling it out, you just have to scroll down. And when you see this line that says your email, you click on that line and then you can type what your email is. The next line is your as a tutor, last name and first name. And then, so sometimes people I think are clicking this autofill. So it puts my first name on tutor, then my last name under student. So you have to be careful with that. So really, I would want it to be like this. Smetana Amy, my student is Maria Lopez. And then you choose what month you're reporting for. So you click on this box and you would choose the month. Next, you choose your home site. So the home site is the location where either you are meeting in person with your students or the location where you have chosen to meet with Teach staff to pick up books and materials. Next, total time of tutoring. So for the entire month, whether it was like on a phone call and text messaging and or Zoom or in person, just write down how much time you spent tutoring and interacting with your student. And then we like to keep track of how you and your student are communicating. So you a Zoom, text message, and an in-person meeting. You can click as many of those boxes as is necessary. If you have any stories or special moments, we love hearing about successes. Maybe Maria passed her citizenship test. And then any questions or concerns, you can feel free to type anything here. And when you're done, you click submit. After you submitted, if you realize, oh, I made a mistake, you can click here to edit your response and it will take you back to the form you just filled out. If you have multiple students, you can click here to submit another response and then complete the form again for your second student. So that's our monthly attendance report. Going back to our Teach website, we also have our Teach Tutor Lesson Log. And you can either have it as a Word document where you can open it up on your computer and type directly into the document. We also have a PDF version, so that you could print that one out and write on it by hand. So if we were to click on one of those, I already opened it up, but this is what the tutor lesson log looks like. So you'd write your name on this line and your student name next to it. Let's see if I can make this bigger. And so basically, we just want a very short description of each tutoring meeting that you've had. So just make note of the date and time. It's like September 14th, 12 p.m. Met for 1 hour. And then for the activity, just write a very brief sentence or phrase about what you did. Maybe you'd say, okay, we completed chapter 2 in step forward. We discussed new vocabulary related to public transportation and looked at photos related to our experience. So it can be very, very brief. Even that might be too much information. And then if you are meeting in person or remotely, we just want to, keep in mind health and safety during this time. So if it was a remote meeting, just check it off there. If you did meet in person, we have these boxes to affirm all statements. And so these statements are the statements at the very bottom of the document, which are questions related for in-person meetings, such as like you're affirming that you don't have any symptoms of COVID, you haven't had contact with anyone who's been diagnosed with COVID in the last 2 weeks, you haven't traveled out of the country in the last 2 weeks. And then both you and your student, each session, would be just affirming that those statements are true, just as a way to help to make those sessions hopefully a little bit safer. And then we also, recognize that people might not feel comfortable meeting in person. So, it's totally fine to meet virtually, on the computer, over the phone, anything like that. And, when you're meeting in person, just make sure that you're honoring the precautions that the site is requesting. Most of our sites currently are requiring masks. And so just be respectful of that. So the tutor lesson log, we asked this from you at the end of each term. So like at the end of summer, we would want it in August. At the end of fall term, we'll want it, at the end of December. The end of spring term, we'll ask for it in May. So this is just a running document that you'll keep track of. And we only want it from you, 2 or 3 times a year. We don't need it every month. And this document is also useful for you to keep track of the progress that you and your student have made in previous lessons. And if for some reason you aren't able to continue tutoring your student and your student needs a new tutor, this is a document that as a program we can hand on to a new tutor so they have some understanding of what your student has learned in the past. And it's also required for our grants as well. So again, that's the 2 different documents that we request. You can find them both on our website, and we also will be emailing them out to you. And thank you for all of your hard work in supporting our students during this time. We really appreciate it.